and they are really quiet on the audio levels, and I'm limited in how much I can turn them up, you know.
Yeah, all right.
So okay, this is recording. Hello, welcome to Talking with Famous People. My name is host Eric, and I am here today with famous person, regular here on Talking with Famous People, Lorenz Walker. I'm here additionally with uh, the just entered and presumably soon to be live host Zachary, and a person new to me whom I've never met before, presumably not new to the world. I'm assuming he's not a newborn baby. That is to say, his name is famous person Alex. I have not spoken hardly one word to him yet, so we're going to type him cold and raw. I know nothing. Number one question, Alex. Do you like cheese?
Uh, I definitely like cheese, yeah.
It's a good sign. We're off to a good start. Okay. Number two. If you're walking around and you're not talking to anybody, you're not listening, there's no music playing, so you're walking down a path in uh, in a part of nature, but there's not really much around except just some brown dirt. Not really anything to look at. What's going on in your head?
What's going through my head?
Yeah.
Um, I'm probably thinking about the future, like with a project that I'm doing usually.
And Slade. Oh, Lorenz Walker, you silly goose, you. I believe the young people say smashing now is the expression that's used. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. The next question I have for you: If
Smash like
you, I'm sorry, Zachary, you say
when's the last time you engaged in some smash like behavior?
I don't know, but okay. The next question is:
I don't know.
Are you talking to me? I'm assuming that wasn't asking me. So
No,
the,
answered in the past. He doesn't even recall it now.
yeah.
Give five.
The next question is: if you were to find yourself on a boat, okay, you're with on a cruise ship. The cruise
Right.
ship, you're cruising down the ocean when there's a whale that got loose from um, a, a net that was attached to a bomb, and the
Right.
whale got loose and was pulling it along, and sort of got loose, and it ran into your boat, and the bomb blew up, and it sank your boat. Now everybody on the boat got eaten by sharks except you and 11 other people who made it finally to this island. It was you could swim once you got through the sharks. Now,
Right.
10 of the 11 people are fine. The 11th person had her foot bitten off by the shark. And so she's alive, but complaining a lot. Okay, so in this scenario, would you prefer to be the uh, would you prefer to be the person who okay, so you're on this island. Hello,
Mhm.
Abraham. You're on this island, and there's a guy named Carl, and
All right.
he's like, all right, guys, now look, here's what we're gonna do.
Carl.
We're gonna split up. We're gonna split up the duties here. Okay. You're Sarah. You said your name was Sarah. Yeah, Sarah. I want you over on the west side of the island. You're gonna be checking for crabs that are walking along there. You're gonna gather them. Okay. And he starts going down the line like this. What's your initial response? What are you thinking in your head as this is going down?
Well, I mean, I don't like that someone is like telling everybody what to do without the power being appointed to him, you know?
Okay, well, hey, young man, listen. I'm an experienced leader. Okay, I run I run a shipping company at home, and I know what I'm doing. So just follow the line, and we'll be out of here just fine. Just you can leave it to Carl. I'm all about solvency. Now, look, young man, your job. I've got a job for you. You're gonna help Larry there build the trough I want built over there. This trough we're going to use for sewage, okay? So you're going to help him dig the sewage trough. Go. What do you do?
Um, I guess just talk about it later. Just let it go for now.
Do you dig the trough?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, you've been tasked with putting together a picnic for a company. You've been given a team of 11 people. And they say, this company picnic has got to be perfect. And your boss is somebody who really cares a lot about details, okay?
All right.
But in this particular instance, she just gives you a big picture vision. You know she's going to be very picky about the details. But all she says is, it's got to be perfect. I want everything to look classy. That's all she says.
All right.
and then she gets on a conference call. You can't ask her any more questions. And it turns out this conference call, it's actually part of an experimental conference call marathon, and it's scheduled to last for 72 hours. And the picnic is 48 hours away, so you have no ability to ask her any questions. So how do you tackle this project?
Um, I guess I just perform tasks to the best of my abilities and just I wouldn't really
Well, there's 11
care.
people now. Okay, let's say you have a team of 7 people. You got 7 people milling around right now. They're going, well, Alex, what are we doing? What do you say to them? Be specific. You're saying, oh, just handle everything. Do things a little bit at a time. That's not an answer of how you're going to do anything. What are you going to do? You got a bunch of people standing around looking at
Um,
you. Picnic?
huh.
What am I going to do? I got to go on a picnic.
I mean, all right. I guess I'd start by giving everybody like a task to do, like to the
What's
best of my
my
abilities.
task?
I just
What's my task?
um, you have to go get a nice white blanket
A
to lay
nice
down on the
white
ground.
blanket. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I'll go do that. So now you got 6 people left. What else
All
you got to
right.
do?
Next person goes to get some really nice, I don't know, appetizers
Okay.
from
Okay, I'll go get the appetizers. How many should I get?
um
There's
I
50
guess there's
people in
gonna
the
be
company. 50 people are going to do the picnic.
all right, so there's gonna be 50 people. I'd say somewhere around 70.
70 appetizers, okay. And off she goes. Now
Yeah.
you have 5 people left. Yeah, you have 5 people left.
All
You got
right.
a blanket and appetizers so far.
All right. Well, someone's gonna need to get alcohol because it's classy, you know.
Ooh, I'll go get the alcohol.
Some champagne.
My name's Jerome. I'll go get the alcohol. What am I going to get? What do you want me to get?
Champagne because it's classy.
All right, I'll go get champagne. Off he goes. You got 5 people left. You got 4 people
Four.
left.
Um, I guess the fourth person has to go find the location.
What kind of location you want? My name's Mary.
A big open field with trees around it.
Okay.
Preferably no goose poop on it.
Okay. And where? Oh, all right. Here I go. And off she goes. You got 3 people left.
All right. I guess I don't know what I do with the other 3 people.
Well, so far, what have you gotten accomplished? You got yourself a
All right.
field, a blanket,
And
70
food and
appetizers.
water.
You got
Oh, yeah,
70
food and drinks.
appetizers. And what else did you get so far? Oh, liquor,
Uh,
right. You got one
yeah.
blanket, liquor, 70 appetizers, and a field.
Yeah, nobody needs water. Everybody's getting drunk here.
So, okay, what are you going to do with your last people? Do you think you got everything you need for a
Um,
picnic?
I
For
guess
a
they're gonna be
classy
dancers.
picnic?
They're gonna be dancers. They're gonna be
All
downright
right.
dancers.
Go-go dancer is fine. So now you got two people left. What are you gonna do?
All right. Hmm. Well, I mean, hmm. I don't really know.
Okay,
Uh, go find a go find a tent and
okay, one of them goes finds a
um
tent.
and
What's the
well,
last
one of
guy
those
gonna do?
canopy, I guess, something like that,
Okay,
you
a
know?
canopy. All right, so he goes gets like a pop-up canopy there. Okay, fine. You got
Yeah,
one of
there you
those
go.
now. You got one of
Uh,
those.
and then tables and chairs.
One guy gets tables and chairs.
Awesome.
Okay, so now you're at the picnic. Your boss shows up, and you've got a canopy. There's enough tables and chairs for everybody. That's good. It's in the middle of a field. It's next to the dump. The person, it's the only field we could find that was free because you didn't give him any money or anything. And then you have champagne. It's the only thing there is to drink. There are go-go dancers, but there's no music, and there's one little white blanket is sort of sitting on the ground, and she's like, "You're fired, dude. Where's the main course? You got 70 appetizers for 50 people." So it's like everyone's like, "So okay, I can have one little mushroom in a pastry thing, and 20 people can get two." You should say
I
two
guess
for
that
your
was a really
boss,
good
I think.
comment. Yeah.
Um. All right. So let's ask some more straightforward personality questions instead of
All
nonsense.
right.
Zachary, you want to ask some questions?
Do you think morality is intuitive or rationalized?
Um, I think it's rationalized.
By what criterion do you rationalize it through?
Um, I guess past experiences and things I want done to me, mostly.
The golden rule.
Yeah.
What if you want to get stabbed though?
Um, I guess I'll go stab some people.
uh, okay. Do you feel as though you are good at reading people's facial expressions?
Facial expressions. No, probably not. I'm not really good at reading people that are in front of me now altogether.
When you so this is a similar question phrased differently.
Okay.
Um, when you're talking to somebody, do you feel you understand more clearly when you're looking at their face?
Mm, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. When you're trying to tell somebody something, does it matter to you whether they're looking at your face?
No, not really.
Okay. If you're in a room and the TV's on in the background, somebody's trying to talk to you. You got two scenarios. One, the TV's on, but the sound is off. The sound is muted. One, the TV is covered over so you can't see the pictures at all. So it's off visually, but the sound's on, and it's on local news in both scenarios. Which one distracts you more from what the person's trying to tell you in the room?
The visual one.
Okay. You think you're better at singing songs or drawing pictures?
Singing songs.
Um, can you give me three different reasons why a person might argue, three different reasons why a person might believe I asked you a two-part question. Give me three different reasons why a person might believe that uh, that nationalizing or socializing, let's say, grocery stores by trying to make them government grocery stores instead of corporate grocery stores. Three reasons why a person might believe that's a good idea. And then the second question is three arguments they might make, distinct, different ones in both cases.
Oh, just okay. Well, the first one, I guess, would be consistency,
Okay.
so that you would have like the same food every day. You wouldn't have to deal with a unknown. Like you go to the grocery store and it's
Okay.
always the same kind of canned beans.
Okay. What's number two?
Um,
That's it. Okay. That's an arg. Okay. That's a reason they might. That's an argument or a reason, I guess. Okay. Go ahead.
okay. Mm, maybe pricing. The pricing would be the same all across the board. You don't have to deal with that.
Different depending on the food.
And maybe efficiency,
You think?
because
Okay.
because I guess if you're working at the same product over and over again, it would probably become a lot more efficient. You know, like
So you
I just
think
feel
you're saying
like
that the government ownership would cause standardization, and standardization might improve efficiency. Standardization would
yeah,
be better
yeah,
for consumers on the price end, and standardization would be uh, it would provide consistency about which kind of food you get all the time.
yeah.
Okay, so those are would you say those are reasons to believe it's a good idea, or those are arguments in favor of it?
To believe that it's a good idea.
What are arguments in favor of it?
Arguments in favor. Um, hmm. I don't know. I really wouldn't agree with that being the subject.
Well, I mean, I don't agree with it either, but I could still make arguments in favor of it.
um, hmm.
What about equal opportunity for all areas of the United States? That could be a possible argument for it.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I think
yeah. There
your
wouldn't.
I think your reasons are arguments for it.
Yeah, that's the same. That's
When I
interesting. I didn't expect you to answer that it arguments for why it'd be a good idea.
the question why don't people believe that, I would answer it more along the lines of because one, they might prioritize um, empathic responses to poverty over uh, you know what one might call logical analysis of likely impacts. Or number two, they might prioritize in general um, predicted impacts over certain implementation processes.
If they
Or
did implement it though, it'd be very tricky because they would have to. I mean, it's going to be a government system, so it's going to be inherently prioritized over other markets. So they're going to have to like regulate themselves or somehow have an organization to regulate that the prices of it and whatnot, so they don't out compete other markets, right? Or other.
well, I mean, if they're nationalized, that means there aren't any businesses that are allowed to sell
Oh,
that. They have a
I didn't know we
government
were abolising all the businesses.
they have a government monopoly is what it means to nationalize something usually. Like there's a government monopoly on nuclear weapons, which is probably a good thing. So
For good,
okay,
Yeah.
I would say it's probably a thing. Yeah.
yeah, Lorenz Walker. I mean, not Lorenz Walker. Lorenz Walker's friend, famous person Alex.
Yeah.
We should call you famous person Lorenz Walker's friend Alex. um,
So this is Lorenz's friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
I've never called Lorenz Walker Lorenz. I've just called him. I just that's the first time right there in reference. I always call him Lorenz Walker. Okay,
You play.
do you play video games? He asked. I hear. I know he's cutting out.
Do you, wait, am I cutting out?
Yeah,
What about now?
You sound fine to me.
yeah. Now you sound
Uh,
fine.
do you play League with
Yeah, I do.
Loren? How do you
Uh,
approach a game going into it? How do you generally prepare for it mentally?
well, I usually look at the opposing team to see who they have. Like, are you talking about the beginning of the game or before the game?
Beginning.
Beginning? Yeah, I usually look at the enemy team and see what characters they're using, so I can know how to, if I need to buy different items or like approach the situation differently at the beginning of the game for like the first minute.
Would you say you prioritize mechanics or let's say you're a blank slate and you have an option of either being uh, well endowed, so to speak, in mechanical ability as opposed to um, item strategic ability. Which one
Uh,
would you go for?
Definitely mechanical. Yeah, I really don't like the building aspect of it for some reason. I don't bother myself with that.
Mm. Um, let's say Lorenz fucks up, right? He's coming to gank your lane and he just fucking dies and feeds. How do
Hmm.
you generally process that?
Um, well, I mean, I'm pretty bad at the game too, so I probably wouldn't be too mad at him about it.
Mm. What if a
If
random person?
And then I'd most likely be a little mad. Not fly off
well,
the handle, but yeah, I'd be mad about it. I'd
let's say
probably
you
say
wake up.
something.
Let's say you wake up tomorrow morning with amnesia, but it's only a 1 day amnesia. You only forget yesterday, which is today, and you discover though that something terrible has happened, and you're offered one of two pieces of data. Number one, you can see your own facial expression watching the bad thing that happened, or number two, you can look at the facial expressions of three other people watching what happened to try to determine what actually happened. Which do you prefer? Which do you choose?
Three other people.
Okay. What if it's one and one? Which do you choose?
Um, Probably the other person's, because I
Yeah.
don't know, yeah.
Do, when you go to like a work or school kind of environment, are likely to forget certain small items? How often does that happen? Where you get there someplace and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot my blah.
No, that doesn't happen often to me.
Okay. Um, if I were to, if suddenly I were to say, here's I've assigned you a 10-page paper on um, relating your life experience to the book Winnie the Pooh Goes to the Mall. Would you how much different? And let's say the deadline. Would you rather if you actually thought, okay, I want to get this shit done? Would you rather it be assigned right now and due tomorrow, or would you rather it be assigned right now and due a month from now?
Um, hmm. I'd say a month from now. I'm a
When would you
procrastinator.
start it? When would you start it?
Probably towards the end, really close to the end. Yeah.
Would you try to pound it all out in one sitting? Is that a lot of writing for you? 10 pages?
Uh, no, I'd probably do it over a few days. Yeah. I don't like to sit down and like I like working at a situation. I don't like sitting down and finishing it for some reason.
What kind of work do you prefer doing? Writing or like stuff that you can that has single answers, like history, for example, preparing for a history test. What would you rather do, write or prepare for a history test?
Uh, yeah, history. I love history. Yeah, a lot more than writing.
Are you athletic?
Um,
Do you like to work
no,
out?
but I like to be. Yeah, I like to be athletic.
Do you do you like to go outside a lot?
Yeah, I do.
Do you value aesthetic experience? How much value would you put on aesthetic experience to you?
Mm, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, I know what aesthetic is and I know what experience is, but I don't understand aesthetic experience.
He, I think he's.
Well,
Go ahead,
go on,
sorry.
Eric. Go on.
Uh,
No, just go.
okay, well, I think he's trying to say how how much are you concerned about matters of taste? I guess you might say, like, um, do you have strong opinions about this kind of media being good, that kind of media being bad? And if so, what kind of criteria do you use to evaluate those things? And then my follow up question once you answer that is, would you prefer, if you could only have one, would you prefer to have video with talking only for the rest of your life, or music only for the rest of your life?
Uh,
But first
video
answer
talking.
Zach's. First answer Zach's.
Okay. So you were saying the media, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like I have like strong opinions towards things in the media.
You do have strong
Towards art.
opinions?
That was yeah,
Can you say
like
what some of them are?
um like recently there's a guy that um he got caught like raping this girl behind a dumpster, and it was a maximum sentence to like 14 years, and he only got 6 months in like I think it was like county, so he just got off with the slap of the wrist, you know.
But
And
I've heard about this actually. Give me a little. I mean, not to derail anything, but like, give me a little backstory. So, what exactly happened here? Did she like go to the police and say that she got raped, or what happened?
I'm not
Some,
sure. All I
I know
heard
the
was that
story.
she was unconscious. Yeah.
Uh, some other person had found him raping an unconscious girl, and they had like got him off of him. I think he was drunk at the time, but they had got him off of him and then like reported the incident. And then like the media portrayal has been like they're making him look like he. They're only presenting photographs that make him appear in a good light.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
You guys are talking about the Stanford swimmer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, like
Oh,
I,
Pretty good guy. I see this.
I haven't read about the case, except I'm familiar with what that people are upset about the short sentence, right? My,
yeah.
it sounds to me what you're saying here is that it was so clear cut what was going on that other people intervened to pull the guy off of her.
Mhm.
That's powerful evidence that this is cut and dry. So the fact that he
Yeah.
only got 6 months, um, and people, but here's the thing: he only got 6 months, and I agree that's awful. And I'm not sure what to make of the real argument being had, which is one about how the criminal justice system treats different kind of defendants differently. So everyone's saying, well, if he had been black or if he had been Hispanic or something, they would have they would have thrown the book at him. But because he's a
Yeah.
rich white kid, he gets out for 6 months. I I think what the reality is that because he has good legal counsel, he gets out for 6 months.
Yeah, I
And,
don't
and
like
he
that.
has
I like that. There's a better explanation than the first one.
and he has good legal counsel because his parents are rich. So I mean, the problem to the extent that it's a systemic problem, it's a systemic problem implicit in the adversarial legal system. It's not it's not a it's not a race thing, and it's not a class thing even. It's a problem with the way the legal system is
Why is every time
structured.
some bad shit happens, the media has to turn into a fucking like race baiting like?
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I hate
that's
that
What is
shit.
the race
I
thing? Then
hate
why
that.
is it that, for example, a black individual who was under the same circumstances got a different sentence? It was way, 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 way longer than the individual who was from Stanford.
Right,
Did
but
you
the
say
question.
there's someone who did that? There's like, did you say there's a black dude who got a stronger sentence for the same crime?
I'm sure there are plenty of there are lots of examples we could come up with. I'm sure, right? Because all you got to do is look through rape convictions and find somebody who got a longer sentence. It's easy to find one. But the point is, the question, Abraham, isn't whether or not the sentence was too short. Nobody's disagreeing with that. The question is, why was it too short? And the notion that it was too short because he's white or rich is wrong. It's too short because he did it. He did the job better as a defendant
When you
than.
frame it the other way, when you frame it in terms of it's because he's rich or it's because he's white, it too easy fits a narrative of you can attack it on a broad spectrum, right? The best way to address it is to look at what actually got him off, which is um, using.
Being good at the legal system. That's what got him off. Being good at the legal system. And you might say the reason he's good at the legal system is because he's rich. You could try to claim the reason he's good at the legal system is because he's white. But really, the reason he's good at the legal system is because he comes from money. And the money's able to buy a good lawyer. And if you get a smart person into a courtroom who's also got a lot of legal training,
I
I
think
mean,
that's done because rape should always be seen as rape
well,
under justice. Right?
I agree with you. I'm not disputing the fact that it represents a flaw in the system. I'm saying it represents a different flaw in the system than the one that the media is saying.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to address it. Because of he was at an so to speak an advantage position. Um, that was the avenue which got him a lighter sentence as opposed to any other discrepancies within this.
And the point would be that avenue would be available to any defendant who executed the process as successfully as that defendant did. It's hard to execute the process that successfully without a lot of money,
You
but it's
guys know
possible.
that. You guys know that the judge actually got consequences for that. I think he got like recalled or something. I forgot what they call it, but
Is it
basically,
it's
I
an
just feel
elected
bad for their
position?
swimming team. What's their swimming team gonna do now?
I don't think it's right that if you have a certain amount of money, you're able to play like legal gymnastics in order to sway things in your favor so heavily. Like if somebody commits a rape, there should be like a flat amount of a flat sentence for how like that should be. I think there
Well,
should be a flat sentence for.
I oppose mandatory minimums though, because even though they sound good, it's a reaction. It's like saying let's take the human decision making part of
Mhm.
the judge out of the system because sometimes
Yeah.
humans make bad decisions, but rigid rules make worse decisions almost always.
Yeah, I
That's
Yeah,
can
it's
see that,
not
but in
fair
a
painted with a black
situation
and
where
white.
it's like as serious as rape, I mean, I can personally see it being implemented fairly, but I don't know. Just because you have all this money, being able to do these legal gymnastics seems wrong.
My problem with like the mandatory or a mandatory minimum for rape. Okay, let's say mandatory minimum was 15 years or something. Uh, I don't think this is gonna sound like really bad. I don't think all rapes are under the same sort of rape term. Like
Yeah, I
It,
don't think any crime is
it
like
depends
that.
on how you define
hold,
rape, especially in our like, current culture. Oh,
hold,
by the
hold,
way, we're supposed to be typing Alex.
all right, okay, but listen, but this is a crucial point. I think Zachary, the important way to frame this so that you don't subject yourself to vulnerability on this point is to say
yeah,
what you're not considering is that rape is ultimately, once it gets in the legal system, not a thing that happened. It's a charge leveled against somebody by prosecutors. Now, prosecutors will take whatever charges they can level and use that ability to level charges to leverage people into plea bargains. So, when you have mandatory minimums, you increase the prosecutor's ability to leverage plea bargains. This is a bad thing.
Okay.
So, when I accidentally bumped into that lady in the supermarket and somehow it goes disastrously wrong and I'm in the fucking prosecutor's office,
You raped her.
he's threatening me. He's threatening me with forcible rape and 15
I
years
see
in
that
prison
as
to
a
get me to
strong
plead guilty on
argument.
something. I know
And
this happens.
it's like that one coach, you know, like how he tripped and fell and entered her vagina. I mean, are we really going to consider that rape? You know, if you trip and just find yourself.
No, it was a totally freak accident. I was walking around naked with an erection. I tripped over the rock. She was lying on the ground naked with her legs spread, and it just went in there.
It happens more often than not, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
That's
Yeah.
how I had my first kid, actually.
um, but yeah, it's leveraged, right? So I was in a court case. I was on a jury. This guy had done very little. He was technically guilty of simple assault, but he had done very little. And the prosecutor had charged him with felony assault with a tear gas weapon, among other things. He had thrown every charge you could possibly think of at the guy to get him to plea down to simple assault. The guy refused to plea. We found him not guilty. And I wish they they should have a RFDs after the fucking thing, too, so I can tear that fucking prosecutor a new asshole, you know? They had RFDs, reasons for decision, where the jurors got to say, here's why I voted for you, defendant, and here's why I voted against you, prosecutor. I would have fucking torn that prosecutor a new one. Are you serious? You charged that fucker with felony assault with a tear gas weapon because he pepper sprayed somebody who was harassing him. I'm charging you with felony overcharging of people, and you can suck my fucking dick. That's what I would have told him. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's nothing to do with Alex's personality type.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Alex?
got well, we got derailed when I brought that up, or when I inquired more about that whole thing. But
Hey, man, it's alright.
all right,
Yeah.
Save.
Hey, yeah. Later today we are right. So, Alex, if you're crying, did it come up on you kind of all of a sudden, or was it slow? Are you aware? I'm getting sad. I'm getting a little sadder. Oh, I'm getting sadder. I'm gonna cry pretty soon. Ah, and here comes a cry. Or is it? Where the fuck did that come from?
Oh, where the fuck did that come from? Yeah.
Okay. How comfortable are you coming up with written protocols directing others how to do things, like recipes, algorithms, step-by-step breakdowns of things?
I'm not that comfortable. I usually don't feel like I'm like mastered enough at things to give someone directions how to do it.
But do you think someone who is a master ought to give directions?
Yeah.
What was I gonna ask you?
Yeah.
Okay. If I were to say, if I were to ask you to taxonomy something, first of all, do you know what I mean by that? Like, you probably are familiar with animal taxonomies, right? Where they go like families, genus, species, yada yada yada.
Oh, so then they like stuff them, right?
It's basically you divide a bunch of stuff into different sets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, taxidermy.
Same thing, right?
Close enough.
Like the organization of species and categorizing them.
Like for example,
Categorizing species? Okay.
for example, the personality type thing is kind of like a taxonomy. It breaks all the species of human into
Okay,
16
yeah.
different types, and if it breaks those into subtypes, that's a taxonomy, right? So if I
Okay,
were to
yeah,
ask you
yeah.
to say, can you provide a taxonomy of different kinds of evilness? What would you say?
Different kinds of evilness?
Yeah, you're gonna taxonomy
Um,
evilness. Like
So for
break the whole pile of evilness into different sets and label them. Like, okay, this is a set. This is a subset of that, like that kind of stuff.
so like rape and murder and all that, right?
Well, those are specific acts of evil. I want you to try to
Okay.
come up with a way to think about evil which provides us different kinds. You might say, like, well, rape and murder are both violence against individuals. That's a kind of evil.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you come up with some other kinds of evil?
Um. Yes. So like maybe violence against yourself. Like, would that be considered an evil? I
Yeah,
mean, I
sure.
don't.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah. I
really.
think that's an evil. I think that's an evil. I mean, it's at the very least, it's not a good, right? Hurting yourself, suicide. Well, I say suicide's an evil because you're harming other people dramatically. And in general, when you harm yourself, you're harming other people as well.
Well, yeah,
But
that'd be an evil towards other people too, technically, wouldn't it be? Because, I mean,
well, I mean, I think if you kill yourself, it's an evil because other lesser harms. It's hard to say. It's hard to say that it could be a uniform understanding of that. Um, you know, like what you might think it's harmful for me to uh, get a tattoo, and I might say no, it's not harmful. You might think it's harmful for me to smoke cigarettes, but that doesn't mean you get to tell me it's evil for me to smoke cigarettes,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if I kill myself, it's harmful to other people because everybody who loves me is going to be suffering about that for the rest of their lives. So, I don't even remember what the question was. Oh yeah, categorizing evil. Zachary, you have any thoughts on categories of evil?
Hold on, give me a second. I have to go give something to someone.
Okay.
Just 2 seconds.
Zachary,
Categorizing evil.
yeah, you got any thoughts on that? Here's a core question. I was thinking about doing it, but I was thinking about it more. Can one
Well, though
categorize
actually,
types of evil?
evil would be unjust, right? Evil would be classified as behavior that's unjust.
Sorry about that.
And the way I see just behavior is it's behavior that does not compromise on another person, right? So we all recognize that suffering injustice is way worse than gaining from injustice. So we lay down the genesis of law, which is to avoid doing injustice to other people. So evil would be compromising on that implicit nature of society. So evil behavior classifying would be behavior that is ultimately negative towards society, and then you could categorize it at different levels through that means.
So you could say different ways in which it is harmful to society.
Yeah.
You could also say you could categorize it by agent. Evil's done by individuals towards individuals. Evil's done by individuals towards groups. Evil's done by groups towards individuals. You could do it by motivation. Evil's done out of spite. Evil's done out of greed. Evil's done out of anger. You
You could
could.
categorize.
Categorize it by like aggression or theft, right?
Okay, so
Wait,
in
what
that case, well, he said you categorize it by talking about the difference between aggression and theft. I think in that case you'd be saying it'd be sort of like the different kinds of crime angle, right?
Yeah, I think it would be different as a crime. I think it would still be regardless. If it's something that's evil, which should be classified as a crime, it would be something that's harmful to society. And there are different types of crimes.
Do you think that everything that's evil should be classified as a crime?
Um,
I have to reflect on it for a while. Be dead air time on here.
What's your gut reaction, Alex, to that question?
every evil should be a crime?
Yeah,
No, no,
you,
definitely not. Like, I feel like, I mean,
Well, you have to think of it
technically,
this way. What is morality is kind of it's democratic in nature, right? Because from my argument, it's the genesis of what a law would be within a society would be that which we perceive is injustice. Like we don't want to suffer injustice, so we should put laws that prevent us from doing injustice to others because we all agree it's better. But when you look at like what evil is, that can be kind of it could be more difficult to codify when you view it as things are just evil, because it removes the if you look at things democratically,
Can we
what
think of an
people
example? Can we think of an example of something that's evil and not and shouldn't be illegal? Alex, can you think of one?
Well, doing drugs or drinking
I don't think
or
doing
any
drugs or
any
drinking
of
are
those.
evil. I don't think we're gonna find any consensus on whether that's evil or not. It's people call it. I think it's not evil remotely. I think it might even be good in some circumstances, and you know,
Yeah, but I mean, technically, like evil is like it's it's what a person thinks is evil. Like I'm pretty sure some things that are evil to me aren't evil to you or you to me. I don't think drugs are evil either, but a lot of
see, that's
people
why it's
are.
hard to view things that like that's what I was trying to get to is like that since what I'm arguing for is a democratic sense of
cheating,
it goes on aggression, right? Well, then what would be
cheating on
defined as
you,
evil outside of aggression would well
cheating
that
on
goes on the
you.
same that's injustice. You don't want to suffer that injustice.
But it shouldn't be illegal. Cheat on people.
It
Is
should
being rude or being an asshole evil?
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
it should be illegal.
to cheat on
I
people.
think if you know what marriage means, right? If you get into a
Oh,
marriage and you willingly cheat on someone, then you're defying the law within that.
You
that
want the government policing people's use of their genitals?
sure.
I think it
I
should be
mean,
legal. And it should be legal to cheat out of a marriage. That's
well,
I
yeah. I
mean.
Marriage
mean,
shouldn't even be a
you.
legal status. It's just an
Well, if you
agreement
want to
between two
cheat, don't
people.
get married then. It's that fucking simple.
Okay, but what about cheating on your girlfriend? Should that be illegal too? That's evil too. You're not married.
No, but you like when you get married, you kind of take like an oath that you're not gonna. I mean,
In my opinion, any long-term relationship I'm committed in, that commitment is equally strong as the one in marriage. The fact that the government says I'm married is irrelevant to me entirely.
Well, then, if you don't get married,
yeah,
you're not
sure.
getting the benefits of being married.
The
Yeah,
advantages
I'm
of
still.
being married are when you say you're getting married, you're saying I plan to maintain this commitment indefinitely. When you're in a long-term relationship, you're saying I plan to remain committed to you for the duration of this relationship. In both
Hmm.
cases, the commitment should be the same strength. So why should the punishment be different?
Because the things you get with marriage that you don't get out of a long-term relationship, such as, uh, I'm pretty sure you can like access each other's insurance, right? That's one of the things you get. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head right now. I have to
Yeah,
look them
yeah,
up.
you can
But
do lots of things when you're married to people.
well,
Sure.
if you go into a marriage, I think it should be illegal to cheat out of it because you know what you're signing up for, so to speak, when you get married. Therefore, it should be illegal to cheat out of it. That's a
Okay,
stupid fucking decision.
but so what should the punishment be?
Hang them by the toes.
No, I don't know about that, but I'd have to reflect on that for a while. I don't know what the punishment should be.
So
I do
should you
think it's
get?
immoral.
But should
I do think
there?
it's
So you're saying that even though even though cheating on a girlfriend is immoral and I would say evil, you don't think it should get a punishment, but marriage it should get a punishment because of the legal things, not because of the evil.
well, it's a lot easier to argue it should be punished in a marriage sense than it is outside of that. So until I can think of a good argument for why it should be outside of it, then
Okay,
I just
then forget the married part. Let's put that one to bed. Can we agree that there are evils that shouldn't be made illegal if we agree that cheating on a significant other that you're not married to is evil but shouldn't be illegal?
You know, like being
I
rude or
I
being
can
an
agree.
asshole, like that can be seen as like evil, but is it illegal to be an asshole?
Right.
Yeah,
There's
I
lots
mean,
of free
it's not.
expression. There's lots of free expression that would count as evil, I think. You know,
Mhm.
taunting somebody who's vulnerable. That doesn't mean it should be illegal. We need to police that with social mechanisms.
yeah, but okay. When you say social mechanisms, that's just a way of hiding. Let's get into a gang and beat the fuck out of someone because they did
No,
something we don't
it's
like.
shaming. It's shaming. Shaming and
If you don't think shaming is
ostracization.
going to lead to that, then you don't understand it. That's
Okay,
exactly what it would lead.
let's talk.
If we
I'll give
normalize
you an
shame,
example. Let me give you an example. The cop who beat to death Kelly Thomas and got off scot free because a fucking Orange County jury let him off. He tried to go eat at Denny's, and the patronage at Denny's was a good bunch of people, and they stood up and said, you're an awful person. Get out of here. You don't belong eating in here. We don't like you. Stuff like that. They didn't threaten him with violence. They didn't beat him up. They just taunted him until he left.
They showed his discontent for his actions and being.
They said,
Yeah, but online behavior like that would lead to that shit. Because if everyone's okay if everyone's shaming someone, let's say let's look at a small group, right, and one of them fucks up and is perceived fucking up by everyone else, they're gonna shame them, and eventually they're all just gonna get together and be like, okay, let's go beat the shit out of this person.
no, their behavior will change. The behavior changes. Look, we already know behavior changes because things that have become shameful, people no longer do. People no longer say a bunch of racist shit online. Why? It's shameful now. People no longer say a bunch of stuff about
Well, when you said that a bunch of people don't say racist shit, try telling it to a liberal. I'm sure they would fucking disagree wholeheartedly with that.
Okay, well, I mean, but the point is that we have to acknowledge, the point I'm trying to make, and I think it's absolutely true, is that behaviors that become socially shameful, that changes things,
They're repressed if they're socially shamed.
Will they what?
Actions that are shameful are repressed in a society.
No, what I'm saying is this. There is evil that shouldn't be illegal. And that the response to it needs to be moral outrage. And that moral outrage takes the form of holding those who did the evil in contempt and condemning them.
But see,
However,
that's witch hunting. At least that's like witch hunting.
It depends on the significance of the wrongdoing.
I think the amount of social feedback has to correlate with the severity of the...
Right, it does. But look, the thing is this. That guy got 6 months, but he also got just vilified in the media, and he's going to have to carry that with him the rest of his life, and that adds a little bit of justice to the thing.
That should be fucked up. I don't like the whole idea of... The media should be held
He
to
raped an unconscious girl behind a dumpster, Zach.
Wait, what? Okay, yeah, that should be more reprehensible.
Okay.
But see, but your solution to it isn't. Every circumstance is not going to be like that. If I did something that, let's say someone claimed I did something, right, and they convinced a bunch of people that I did it, should I be shamed of doing shit because they've all decided that I've done this thing and I no longer have a right to do certain things?
No, she should be shamed for slander if in fact she's lying. There's clear bright line here.
Yeah, but see what she ought to be, yeah.
But she's legally accountable for that. But see, that's legally accountable. She's legally accountable for that if she's lying. The key mechanism is the truth.
But if there's no proof, how's the truth conveyed? The truth is conveyed by convincing people that what's
Remember,
what's true.
we're only talking about shaming people for things that are not crimes that are also evil.
I think that ties just in with the same concept of witch hunting.
What I'm talking about is a natural consequence of people doing fucked up shit.
I feel like
because Ray Rice punched his wife in that elevator and knocked her out, everyone hates him. That's a natural fucking consequence of his being a fucking douchebag.
I think what he's saying is just a slippery slope of when you're shaming someone, it's not that hard to kick him out of your restaurant and then later kick his ass for what he did.
Okay, but then there's a clear, bright line. If you do that, then it's time to shame you. But you don't have to shame you. There's criminal consequences for that. There should be.
Why shaming is so arbitrary because it's not based on anything. You can't. Okay, for example, let's say there's this movie, The Hunt. It's a great movie. You people should watch it if you haven't. It's on Netflix, I think. But basically, in the movie, this guy he's a school teacher, and one of the little girls gives him a present. And he rejects it, and so she tells her mommy that he raped her or he touched her or whatever. And then the whole community gets convinced of that shit, and they go and beat him up and everything. And then he has to go to court. And the whole movie is a great depiction of exactly the problem with shaming. because shaming is something that rests democratically
You're talking
inherently.
about a crime. You have to limit this discussion to agreed upon framework here. We're talking about different things. We're not making any progress. I'm saying we should shame for things that are evil but not crimes. You can't be talking about rape or other things that are crimes aren't
But
relevant.
you say that in general. But when you say that, you have to generally say shaming is okay, and and you can easily fuck
No,
up
I
that.
don't have to say shaming is okay in general. I'm saying specifically this. Shaming is the naturally occurring and good way to police individuals who do evil things to other people, but those evil things aren't crimes.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what if those perceived evil things? Okay, like it's like the rape thing. What if someone gets accused of rape and they didn't do it, and everyone's gonna believe the woman probably.
That's not what I'm saying people should be shamed for. I'm not
I'm
saying
saying
people should be shamed falsely for
they
things they didn't do. I'm saying let's limit it to what I'm saying so that we can actually talk about that. You
Yeah,
keep
but
trying to bring in things.
what you're saying leads to that shit.
No,
It leads to that.
Zach, don't use a slippery slope fallacy. That's what that is. It doesn't lead to it.
It's
It's a
not.
distinct. Absolutely it is. Why would why would it be the case that just because if I know you committed a crime and I see evidence of it and you got away with it, what I'm shaming you for is the really the evil, getting away with the evil. You deserve the shame, right? There's nothing illegal about getting away with evil, but it
Okay,
doesn't make it
can I
wrong. It doesn't
respond to
make it
that?
okay. What?
Can I respond to
Yeah, of course.
that? Okay, I agree. I agree that if we see evidence of something that was fucked up, like we don't like cheating, they should be shamed, right? They should be shamed. But when you normalize shaming, that leads to stuff when you don't have evidence, right? You expect you're under the assumption that everyone is like a rational agent that's not going to pass judgment until they see clear evidence, and the reality is that's not how people are.
It'll
Just
go like
bugged.
this. Look, it goes like this. So that, yeah, there will be overreaches and shaming. Those will be checked by the natural consequences of the community saying, finding the vulnerabilities in this. People check each other at all times. This is why there's all sorts of weak ass arguments that no longer get made in comment sections because people have been embarrassed by the fact that somebody kicked their ass over it. That's how people change their positions, public positions, is because when they make public positions and they don't fly well and they get responses other than what they hoped for, or they get checked or they get shut down, they learn. There are certain mistakes that, for example, Metasoap made in her comments and such. She's never going to make those again. Why? Because she got embarrassed. I didn't intentionally shame her. I may have a couple occasions, but I didn't really try to intentionally shame her. But she felt ashamed anyway. Why? Because it didn't work for her at all the way she wanted it to. That's what
Okay,
I mean by natural consequences of making mistakes. Now, she didn't do anything evil, but the same mechanism applies. For
but that when you look at actual crimes, if someone gets accused of a crime, like that can lead to fucking social, like Lawrence put, social sway is fickle. That's absolutely true. Shaming might be natural, but in practice, it leads to shit like riots. People getting fucking assaulted.
Well, you are allowing individuals to escape their own moral culpability if you say that. If you're saying that the cause of their choosing to use violence or engaging actual crimes is the fact that that things that are not crimes are shameful, then you are excusing them their moral culpability. They don't have to make a decision anymore. They just say, "Oh, I couldn't help it. Everyone was shaming him, so I didn't know any better. I just had to beat him up
That
too."
totally fucking happens, though. That totally happens. People fucking go with what the group
So
behaviors do.
so then so then those people who did that are criminals.
Yeah,
They
but they're
they
never.
use violence.
If we normalize shaming, they will never be come to the
We
light
don't
of.
normalize it. It's a naturally occurring phenomenon when we have moral outrage towards something. It doesn't. I can't normalize it by engaging in a legitimate, naturally occurring moral outrage.
But what do you guys think about this, Alex and Lawrence?
I kind of think I'm more concerned about the person that's being shamed maybe acting out in a physically aggressive fashion.
Yeah, because like I feel like if you ostracize someone for doing something, I feel like it only makes the problem worse too. Like they're already being a piece of shit. Like you acting a piece of shit towards them isn't gonna make them want to change if they already like don't care about their actions. I feel
Well,
like it's
Is
not enough sometimes.
Yeah, because you got to. It depends on the individual person whether or not they are going to maybe adapt to the shame or like how it's going to be processed.
there's a page by Ayn Rand that I never read any of her books, but I read this one excerpt, like a quote, like a paragraph or a page long quote. It's all about. It says basically the gist of it is this: that the only way that a government can punish a person is through guilt. That if the person feels as though he's done something wrong, the government can do whatever they want to him. Because when the cop pulls you over, if you know you were speeding, you knew you were speeding, and you bought into the notion that there's something wrong with that, you're going to be very, very different response than if you know you were doing everything legal. You were following all laws. You were being very attentive to it. The cop pulled you over anyway. You have a very different response. And the only difference is your own feeling of guilt. Now, the thing is this. When people brazenly do bad things, like punch their wife in the fucking elevator, if in fact their behavior is not shameful, why are they trying to cover it up? Why don't they allow us all to see what they're doing? Well, the reason is because they're ashamed of it. They should be. They feel guilty, except they're trying to avoid any consequences for it. And if it's not a crime, they shouldn't get any legal consequences for it. But that doesn't mean that the light of day doesn't do us all a lot of good. We don't have to actively choose to shame. All we have to do is look at the awfulness and express our naturally occurring moral outrage.
well said.
Okay.
I just want to add an asterisk, so to speak, and to say that the light of day, the individuals perceiving the light of day, is very subject to manipulation.
And then
That's all I want.
we need to have our own moral outrage about that too. When people try to manipulate that shit and do that and do what you say, because it will happen. I agree. We need to be outraged about that too. We just be nothing but
So do we have
outraged
a
all the
timer
time.
for Alex?
Alex, how much moral outrage do you experience on a daily basis? Do you meet your daily recommended allowance of moral outrage?
Yeah, definitely. I'm always outraged, man.
All right, great, great,
On a
fantastic. That's a good
consistent
way to
basis.
live.
What thought do we think Alex says based on everything so far?
I mean, I'm having a hard time. Um, he's chill. He's easygoing. Do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert, Alex?
I'd consider myself an extrovert. I like talking to people a lot and being outside and
Zach,
meeting new
ask some more
people.
questions. Help us nail this down.
Hmm.
What cognitive function do we want to figure out if he's got it or not?
SI.
Do you
I think he has it.
do you do you have in your head a good sense of your schedule going forward, like shit you got to take care of today, or do you tend to write all that stuff down on paper?
In my head, I don't usually have a need to write things down.
Do you?
When you're,
Go ahead.
would you be more inclined to think about? Would you be more inclined to fantasize about your own inner world, or would you be more inclined to think about how the future is going to play out?
Mm, my own inner world.
Which of the following do you identify with most? I'm good at generating possibilities. I'm good at processing ideas. I'm good at managing other people. I'm good at managing myself. Which of those do you agree with most?
Um, processing ideas.
That's a good question, huh, Zach? I'm gonna ask that one again. I'm gonna ask that one again. I like that. I mean, I have my thoughts. Do you have yours? I have two possible thoughts.
I've had my thoughts.
Go ahead and give your thoughts, Eric.
I'm going ISTP.
I was thinking the same thing actually, and the reason I think that is because, or it's actually back to do what he said about League earlier, how he is more inclined toward mechanical ability, and he kind of sees like it's not you neglect strategic item building, but you just find it and you find it to be annoying generally.
Yeah.
It's more you only follow it insofar as it helps your mechanical ability be more successful, right?
Right now, Alex is going, I just told you guys I'm an extrovert.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
I thought I was shooting over with him earlier.
Well, I think it's important to distinguish that just because your primary function is introverted doesn't necessarily mean you don't like social interaction.
Yeah, I think a lot of introverts misunderstand what extroverts feel like, right? And they think I go out a lot. I'm extroverted, but they don't know what it actually feels like to be an extrovert and just be like, ah. All right, so what do you think, Lorenz Walker? Is he still here? Did Lorenz Walker go away?
Yeah.
Is anybody else in here besides you and me and Zach?
No, it's just us four.
Who's the fourth?
Me, you, Alex, Zach.
Who's me?
Lorenz.
I said Lorenz Walker. I said, Lorenz Walker, what do you think he is?
Oh, well, we were going over this earlier, and yeah, we had kind of settled on ISTP.
That's good. Well,
Yeah, but the profile, some things in the profile contradicted what he thought.
Oh, he went off. What do you guys think about that? The clashing of ideologies. Oh, Eric's still here. I thought he walked off.
I had to pick up something important underneath my desk. What parts? What parts clashed? What parts clashed with the profile? Alex, what parts did you find that you didn't agree with the profile?
I mean, I don't really know anything about profiling, so I'd have to like look it up and.
No, but you said,
Understand.
Alex, you said you thought. I mean, I'm sorry, Lorenz Walker. You said you thought there were a couple things that clashed.
Yeah, we were just going over like the stock ISTP like profile.
Yeah, I want to know what those couple things are though that you guys thought clashed.
I'm not sure in specific. I just know that he said that there wasn't like 100%. There were some things that he felt weren't accurate towards him. Let me see if I can find it.
Alex, here's another question for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want hair that looks like mine?
Facial hair, 10.
No, top of the head. I'm talking top of the head. You want this? This is the newest look for 2017. I went ahead and got the 2017 haircut now. I like to be a little ahead of the curve.
In my opinion.
You know, I had to take tweezers. I had to pull out all these hairs here to make it look like this. I should probably just shave my head at this point. Okay, are we done with this video? I think we're done with this one. We're going with ISTP, and hopefully we'll see Alex again, and as we learn more about him, and he learns about or reads about personality if he feels like it, maybe we'll reassess it at a later date. Thanks again for watching. I've been host Eric. He's been host Zachary, and in invisible voice mode have been famous people Alex and Lorenz Walker. Have a pleasant day.